welcome to 2010 Villagers Podcast, episode 25. Joining me as always, Ash Walker and Jack Salt. We have another special guest to come for you in a few moments' time. Not a great deal of news to talk about this week, thank God, because after what Ash has just been talking about. But anyway, we're not going to get into that.
That's for the politics podcast.
Oh, Jesus, we're not starting one of
politics special. We've got the Greenie gambling special next week.
Oh yeah, it's Cheltenham next week, isn't it?
Right.
Well, hang on. You've missed something. It's our quarter century here today.
Jesus, well done, Walker. 25 episodes.
Oh God, yeah.
We're nearly there.
I didn't even realise.
Got 25 episodes in. Got 25 episodes in, and we've only insulted 3 football clubs. I think we're doing pretty well.
Don't you think it feels like more than 25?
I think it does, yeah. It feels like a long time since we started it last summer.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like ages ago. Then we were sat in that kitchen of yours, Sam, with a flag up.
I know. He might not be long though, boys.
Maybe not. Oh, he's frozen.
Oh God!
Internet's on a mad one tonight.
My internet's not great either, so this could go really well tonight. Not.
Let's hope the guest is pretty good. He's gone. He's fully gone. There's actually look at him. Look at him.
While he attempts to get back in, we hope. Just the one bit of news we do have to talk about, Jack, is the auction is now nearly a week old. Started on Monday. Not heard too much from the supporters club, but I believe that we've had quite a few emails in. Obviously, so we hope that people carry on bidding throughout March. And if you haven't had a brochure yet, just contact the supporters club, and James will get that sent out to you. I noticed they added another.
Sorry, Sam. Don't even need to contact the supporters club. Just go on the club's website. It's all on the front page.
It's on the club's website now.
All
yes,
on the front page of the website. So
that's very good. I believe they also added an extra item, didn't they? A signed Hull City ball.
Yeah, a signed Hull City ball.
Edition.
Yeah. What season was it? I'm trying to remember. 04, 05?
Something like that. It was
mid-2000s. Right? It was mid-2000s. He's gone, by the way. Walker's in no man's land.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know if I can No, we'll leave him. See if he can come back. I'm just trying to find now the actual year of that ball. It was 07-08. Actually, so a bit later than we thought. So it's actually the year they got promoted to the Premier League. So.
Oh, he's gone completely now.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see if we can get him back.
Welcome to the 2010 Villagers podcast, the cutting edge of modern day technology.
We do really well. Seriously, people, just a little bit of advice here, right? Obviously, Rishi Sunak this week has announced 5% deposits on mortgages. Don't use one of them to move to Swanland because your Wi-Fi will be shit.
Yeah, don't move to Swanland. Lovely area. Lovely area. Just don't move there.
They don't get light stream though, do they?
No, they don't. I think Caircon missed out Swanland on the way.
Yeah, the van obviously didn't get that far.
I know.
So Walker is gone. We will await to see if he gets back in. I'm just seeing if he's messaged either of us.
No, he hasn't.
Right. Okay. Right. This might be a 2-man interview in a moment. Apologies, everyone. God, more editing for me to do to cut all this rubbish out at the end of the show.
Yep.
What should we do, Jack? Should we?
Well, we could. Yeah, bring him on, mate. We'll see if Ash wants to decide to turn up soon. If you want to let him in, Sam, I'm sure we can do a good job. Just we'll apologise to him and then we'll get going.
Right, okay. So what we'll do then, Oh, and just quickly, before we do, just to say, if you've not seen last week's episode yet with Tom Corner, give that a watch.
Very
Enjoyed
good.
that one.
Very good interview. A very, very nice
but-
person.
Yes, yeah, great lad is Tom. Yeah, and thank him for his time last week. I'm really enjoying these interviews when we can. Well, so far we've had 3 people doing the interview every week, but
That may be about to change.
yes. Right, what we'll do is we'll invite our
Put him
guest
out
in
his
because we
misery.
don't want to leave him too long,
No.
and we will hope that Ash comes back at some stage. Right, so
Internet.
here we go.
I've just had confirmation. Internet completely gone. Hey up.
All right.
Here's our mate Clarkey. How are you, mate?
Now then, here's our guest for this week, Mr. Danny Clarke, another
All
North
right.
Ferriby United legend.
All
Welcome to the show, Danny.
right. I can't see everyone now. Where are you all?
Well, I will just say one thing to you, Danny. Ash is normally here with us,
Yeah.
but unfortunately he lives in Swanland, and the internet has missed out Swanland.
He's my favourite. He's my favourite one.
Oh well, we'll have to tell him that. But you've got.
Oh,
us
God, you said that when he's not here.
He's trying to join, but we will just we'll start anyway. Like we ask everyone, how are you? How's
Good.
lockdown treating you?
Yeah. All right. To be fair, obviously our league's now null and void, so that kept me going for a while. But yeah, it's just at a standstill now, just in limbo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
cracking
it's
up.
frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. How are you lads been?
Yeah,
Hey.
fine. Just trying to keep busy with things down at the club and just trying to keep things ticking over, mate. Really, just getting stuff sorted out for next season. I mean, we've not necessarily had any decision on our league yet, but we're planning ahead for next year anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. Clarkey, we apologise for this.
Hey, no worries.
Here he is.
I'm back.
Yes.
Here he is.
Sorry, guys. Nothing, Clarke. How you doing?
All right. Yeah. Good pal, you.
It's not
Well-
a bad thing. I am now. I'm back.
Are we going to tell him that Clarkey said that you were his favourite?
We're gonna have to tell him. Yeah, the big revelation, Ash, is that you're Clarkey's favourite out of the 3 of us, apparently. So
That is good news. That is great news. I appreciate that.
oh God. Right. Before anyone else's internet goes, let's crack on with the interview.
Can I just say, I thought you actually prepped everyone and told them what you was going to be asking.
No, mate. No,
So
mate.
this is
No,
just-
no.
So I'm going to have to be a bit ruthless tonight if you ask me anything, because I won't be able to prep myself.
That's all right, mate. Be as you want.
We like
We- we've already
revelations
had-
on this show.
Yeah, exclusives are a nice thing on this show. We like to give
Okay.
breaking news, don't we? But yeah, we'll kick it off. Are you going to start, Sam?
Yeah, so we'll go right back to the beginning to start with. So, how did you first get into football?
Ooh. Properly, I played in the playground a lot, but my first sort of team was, what would I have been? I was in year 7, so I started quite late. What's that, year 7? Under 12s?
Yeah.
Something like
Under
that, yeah.
12s?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Basically, quite a funny story, but basically we had a cross country at school. Basically, I just, as you could imagine, I just beasted everyone. So I just went off, and there was no stopping me. And a kid called Liam Maskell at Kingston School, a good friend of mine, he said, "Do you fancy coming playing for my dad's team?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but do you know what I mean? I don't really play much. I played for school, but yeah, as you could imagine, I just ran around. So that was my first sort of thing. That's that. I used to play rugby. All my mates played rugby, so I'm off Gypsyville, Westall, and yeah, all the lads around there, they all played rugby. So obviously you've seen that in parts of my game as well. So so yeah, that's yeah. So I started football pretty late.
Fantastic.
All right, fair. What were your like early memories of football? Who did you support as a kid, or
Man
notable
U,
footballers
so,
growing up? Yeah.
yeah. Well, my first.
So that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, it's quite a weird one, but I got this. I got this book while I was in primary school, and it was an Ali McCoy's book. So why you've got a book on an individual player, I do not know. But I had this book, so I supported Rangers, and Ali McCoy was my favourite player, even though I'd probably never watched him, just because I had this book. But when I moved from Eastall to Westall, one of my best mates, he was a Man U fan, all his family Man U fans, and to be fair, back then, they was the only ones on the telly, on FA Cup. It was just BBC and ITV, and they was the only ones on, and they won all the time. So, yeah, so Man United, Cantona, that sort of era, that was my team.
Yeah. Who would you say was your biggest influence getting you into football, Clarkey?
No one. It's a bit of a strange one. So I grew up with just my mum. Never known my dad. My mum, no interest in football. So I just played it with the kids, really. Just as kids, that was it. There was didn't like have a father taking me to football or. So yeah, I did it more for the social side, just to hang around mates.
Yeah,
really. That was it. So no, I couldn't name a direct influence. Probably the fact that Liam asked me to go play for his dad's team. That's probably it. There was no sort of real sort of like as normal people say normal, but football. I never had that. Never watched football with anyone. So yeah, I used to go watch Hull City on my own. That's, you know what I mean. That's just it. So I used to go to the old Bulfrey Park. I used to get there early, buy a programme, and that was sort of my football fix.
Yeah. How easily persuaded were you? Sorry, go on, Sam.
He was off Gypsyville. That's not well. Just yeah, if you said Gypsyville, it was obviously just around the corner on it. Bulfrey, yeah, must have been some good Saturdays for you.
Get there. So.
No, do the Reese Bush technique. Inside joke, like you do.
Yeah.
So how easy was it for your head to be turned from moving to sort of rugby to football? How easy was it for you?
Pretty easy, because when I was at school, I was playing rugby and some kid jumped on my collarbone, and I was in absolute agony, and all I could smell was that strawberry gas because I had to go to hospital. Yeah. And I said, I'm never playing this game again. So when football came along, I was like, yeah, I'll give this a go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it really. I broke my collarbone from somebody while I was on the floor, so I was like, yeah, nah, that's not for me.
Awesome. All right, go on, Walker. We'll go to you.
So we did a bit of research last night, didn't we? Trying to think about where you started your football career as an adult, and the earliest we could find was Winterton. Is that about right?
No. So
that's Ash's fault. Blame that.
That's not my. It's a collective. Collective
I was
fault.
at Hall Road. I was at Hall Road for about 4 years before that.
Right.
So I started at Hall Road. So when I went there, I was there. So Darren France, Jamie Barnwell, Glenn Caveney, Steve Underwood, Jamie Waltham, Blanchard, Mike Bailey, Gary Dicko. It was that sort of era. So yeah, when I first started there was some big names there, big players, people I looked up to. And to be fair, I was privileged to play in that team. It was brilliant. But yeah, I was probably there for 2 years without playing. Just travelled North East counties, just sat on the bench. I remember there was a kid called Glenn Adams as well, and we basically just sat on the bench for 2 seasons, just hoping to get on. And we got on if we was getting battered, or we got on if we was winning. But yeah, then 2 years. The last 2 years is when I sort of broke into it. Jamie Barnwell giving my debut. I remember that, and yeah, I just progressed from there. Really, just really enjoyed it there. But then yeah, went to Winterton after that.
Excellent. What was it like at that early career then at Hall Road, Winterton? How did you find that transition into that sort of football?
It was a strange one, because I remember playing like 7-a-side tournaments on the Dean Park. So they used to run like a pre-season tournament on there. And I remember looking over going, wow, there's a stadium, like a team plays in a stadium just behind that fence. So that's, you can sort of realise there how my sort of perception of football was back in there, thinking like Dean Park was the holy grail. So that's what you can sort of see. So when I was playing for him, it was brilliant. There was a stand. There weren't many people in it, but I was playing in the stand, and obviously all the cup finals were there and things like that. So again, to play at somewhere like that as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, it was privileged, really.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Did you always started out as like a winger or forward?
I don't know. I just one of them. I still to this day, even for Billy this season, I've played 3 different positions. I've just never nailed a position, which has obviously been good for me. But yeah, I've never nailed a position. But I'd say probably more a striker back then, because I was a bit quicker back then.
I'm going to stick my neck on now with some more research here.
Go on then.
So, was it at Frickley where you first linked up with Billy?
Oh God! So right. So it's quite funny this, because it was, yeah. So basically, I was playing for Winterton and I loved it. We won the league. We got the record points. We had a real good team. Dave Ricardo, Rob Northern, Mark Whitehouse, and I could go on. Brilliant team. And Billy worked in the fish houses on Ezel Road. I worked on Ezel Road at a plastics company. And we used to go to the same sandwich shop, and he nagged me all the time to go. It got to a point, well, you know how persistent he is. It got to a point I stopped getting dinner because I couldn't be bothered in him nagging me for 30 minutes to come play for him. I didn't really know who he was, sort of thing. It was just like I've watched a few games for you at Winterton, because he just goes watches games, doesn't he? Yeah. And I just stopped going to the sandwich shop. it was horrendous. Like, I used to have to either time it differently or just avoid going. That's the only way I could do it. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that.
That's amazing. That is fantastic.
But yeah, he took me from Winterton. To Frickley. Yeah.
Thanks. And how was your experience at Frickley? How did you find that jump up?
Brilliant. So if you can imagine, my first game for Frickley was Boston away. So
bloody hell!
So I'd gone from playing Maltby Main, Hallam, grounds like that, nice little grounds. But to go to Boston on your first game and to come on in front of a crowd up front and basically just run around, and it was just brilliant. So yeah, I straight away I saw the difference in the level. I saw the difference in the clubs. But yeah, it was brilliant. It was surreal, really, at the time.
Oh, brilliant.
So what was Frickley like as a club then, compared to like, you know, you've played for the likes of Hall Road and Winterton? Like you say, it was a step up. I mean, we've all been to Frickley. It's not exactly Wembley, but it is a step up. So
I think it suited me. So it was a bit more like Hall Road. So it's a low budget club, fighting for the lives sort of thing. And obviously that's sort of my game. So I sort of fit in well. When you look at the lads that was there, you know what I mean? Like, there was some really quality players like Danny Walsh, but everyone else, like Stav, Bill's brother, it was just hell and fun there, just every game. So I fit right in. But yeah, it was just nice, down to earth club, to be fair, and they knew what there was and they knew what they wanted to do. So I really enjoyed it there, to be fair. I think I was there 4 years again, so really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had some good trips there, didn't we?
We did. It's one of our favourite grounds, isn't it? That one of our favourite grounds at Frickley.
It is.
So ever since then, you said that you tried to avoid Billy in the sandwich shop and all this persistence, but it must have worn off on you, because ever since then you've been with him basically through the rest of your career.
Yeah.
So next, if Ash is right, you followed them to Hall Road. Is that correct? Back to Hall Road.
No, so I'll tell you something. I actually.
Ash, you're doing useless tonight, mate.
Well, no,
What a
he
shot
won't
tonight.
know this. I actually went on loan to Scarborough,
Uh,
Right.
but I never played for him.
Right.
So basically, I was injured, and the new Frickley manager, what's his name? I hope it watch this. Rinkovic, Peter Rinkovic, that's it. So Rinky basically didn't want me because I was one of Billy's boys. So I was trying to prove myself. I wanted to prove that I wasn't one of Billy's boys. Didn't really work. So they told me I was going on loan to Scarborough, but I was injured. So I think I was still playing Sunday League then as well. And I got injured on a Sunday. I went down to Scarborough, and he said he was near me on the bench. I can't think who the manager was. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm injured. I was like, you can name me on the bench, but I'm not coming on. And in about the 70th minute, he tried bringing me on. I just point blank refused. And that was it. That was my last game. And then Billy rang me, just said, like, sort yourself out. I'm at Hall Road, come play. So I went and did that. So yeah, Hall Road. I went back to Hall Road.
So you were kind of right, Ash.
I was kind of, yeah.
Technically, but if you go down, there's another club in there as well. There's another club in there. No one will know this as well. I actually played one game for Appleby Frodingham.
Oh, what
Yeah.
a team!
Yeah,
In non-stops league.
I don't know. I don't know. It was. I think it was North East Counties because it was in the FA.
So it used to be
FA
that.
Bards game,
Yeah.
and basically my mate asked me to play a game for him because I wasn't playing at Frickley, so I played a game for him. Yeah, and I scored, and then that was it. I said, I've got to go to Scarborough now. So that was it. So yeah, and then it was Hall Road.
Awesome.
Well, when did eventually get back
Yeah.
to Hall Road, we remember playing against Ferriby in the East Riding Cup final
Yeah.
for Hall Road.
Yeah.
I think back in the days when it was played at the K-Com.
Yeah. Tough game, that. Tough game.
I distinctly remember Billy that day on the touchline getting into arguments with some prominent Ferriby fans at the time. But what did you think of Ferriby as a club at that point, looking on? And did you have any thoughts in your head about that you might ever end up at Ferriby?
Well, firstly, no. My perception of Ferriby as a kid was basically you only got into Ferriby if you'd been released from Hull City. That was the sort of standard. I was never near that. I never got near a Hull City team, never got near a Hull Schools team. I basically just played Sunday League with my mates. So when you're looking at Ferriby and you're seeing Carrie Bradshaw, Russell Fry, and people like that, Chris Boulder, it's like, no, Willow. Do you know what I mean? It was like, no, I shouldn't be getting near that team. And even though I was at when I was playing at Frickley and it was the same league, I still didn't think I was good enough for that team. And I actually turned Billy down when he asked me to come to Ferriby. I actually turned it down because I said I'm not good enough. But I think I was surprised that Billy even got that job at the time, actually, because like you say, his antics in that game, that was just before he got the job, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the season before,
season before. And basically the way he was, basically his brother got sent off, didn't he, in the game? He smashed someone. I can't think who it was. Smashed someone first half, and then Bill's head went. And then to go from that sort of performance on the sideline to getting such a great job was, do you know what I mean? It shocked me, really.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously you ended up following him eventually, coming down to God's country down in Ferriby.
Yeah.
Would you say that Bill was obviously the biggest influence in that, and obviously who else influenced you to join the club?
Yeah, so well, only Bill. So like I said, I told him no. I said I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to fit in that team, and the only other person really there that I knew was Adam Nicklin. That was it. And he won. I don't even think he was starting. I think Willow was starting at the time. So it was a bit of a, do I really want to put myself in that position? That was my thoughts at the time. So I said no. But he twisted my arm eventually, and I went down. So, yeah.
What were your sort of first thoughts of the club when you like walked through the door, walked through the gate, first met Les and the like?
Horrible. If I'm being totally honest, some of the people there, you saw what happened. Bill had a mass exodus, but some of the people there didn't want him in. They didn't want me in. They didn't want Adam Nicklin in, and some people were an embarrassment, if I'm being totally honest. And there was a lot of, what can I say? There was a lot of stuff going on which I've never sort of said before, and I don't even know if Billy knows. But there was a lot of stuff going on the back of the bus which I didn't like. And yeah, I think one of the reasons Bill got the job, if I'm being honest, is because I think people knew there was an issue there. Basically, players running the dressing room, and I think Bill managed to sort that out pretty quick. I think the perception of Ferriby always was really good players, but why aren't they winning the league? And I think it was seen as a bit of a boys' club. So there was a lot of pally mates, and a lot of these people I mentioned are good mates of mine. But it was just the way it was. And I think people can look back. I think people can look back at certain things and go, you know what, I was wrong there. But yeah, I saw a lot of things which I didn't like. And some of them I had to deal with myself because it was happening on other people who weren't willing to defend themselves. So that was the initial perception. It wasn't a great place to be, which I suppose is going to be like that in a lot of changing rooms when a new manager comes in, especially when Bill has a certain perception of how the game should be played, and a lot of the Ferriby players didn't play that way. So being honest, that's the sort of mood of the camp when I first came in.
Right, that's really interesting perspective to hear that.
Yeah, like I said, I've never really mentioned it before.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
we haven't been going that long, but that season before Billy came in, it wasn't good, was it, Ash? It was the way the team had gone, and
we got in the playoffs, didn't we, the season before? And then it was the start of the season. We were dreadful at the start until Billy came in around October time. Yeah, and that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
I hope I hadn't spoke out the time there. I know I haven't mentioned any names. I'm not afraid to, but it's.
We appreciate that. We appreciate the honesty, don't we?
Yeah, that's just literally walking into that. I literally knew a few people, so I knew of Gary Bradshaw. He went to my school. He was the star of the school. When you walked around the school, his picture was on the wall. I knew Footy because he played Sunday League for Westleigh. And I knew Nathan Pete because he used to come train with All Road, and obviously I knew Adam Nicklin. That was it, and that it wasn't like close friendships. The closest one I had was Adam Nicklin. So yeah.
Yeah. Glenn Walker, we'll go back to you.
Just on the back of that, how long did it take for Billy to kind of sort that out then? How long until Billy got his stamp on the team?
I think he finally sorted it the season after, pre-season after. I think if you looked at the squad list, that season and then looked who we actually kept, I think it'd be clear to see not which ones were causing the problems, but which ones weren't buying into what he was saying, what he wanted. So, and I think you saw some leave as soon as he came in.
Yeah.
So one player I can think of, Paul Harsley. So what a player, but I don't think him and Bill were on the same wavelength on how the team should be playing. So I think he went pretty early. But yeah, if you look at there was other players who you saw leave at the end of that season who I think just weren't buying into what Bill wanted. Great players, but as you know, Bill wants to play a certain way, so you've got to buy that.
Yeah.
So just going to go on to the pitch again now. So that your debut season, we ended up winning the Doodson Cup.
Yeah.
So how was that as a day, and how did you feel after that final?
Which one was that? So there was two. Is this the one?
Eastwood
this one at Eastwood where we played?
Eastwood. Yeah, the Eastwood one.
So that was with the. So the first thing I only remember two things. I remember walking into the tunnel, Rush all looking at us, and we had this new kit and it had stitching on it, and there was laughing that we had like this kit for a final. I was like buzzing with it, like
Yeah.
for this, and then and I think Tim Taylor scored the winner.
Yeah, he scored.
I don't know if it was a winner, but they're
He definitely scored in extra time.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're the only two things I remember about it.
Yeah,
that's it.
guy, what a guy!
We've always said that's one of our favourite ever Ferriby shirts, if not the favourite ever. They only ever wore it once. In that,
yeah, it was a nice shirt. But yeah, that's all I remember. But yeah, it was the first trophy. I remember.
It's a nice shirt, that.
Yeah, and I think it meant a lot, especially to Les. And I think that's the reason. That's the reason why we got that shirt. And I think that was the start. That was the start really, where I think Les and Bill really hit it off and just went, let's do this. So it was a big game. That probably a turning point of which way Ferriby was going.
Definitely. Go on, Shep.
So where are we up to now? So obviously the series, like you say, Billy really got his influence in the pre-season. And after that, the cup win was maybe a kickstart of it. And obviously, as we all know, the season after was probably one of the best in Ferriby's history, winning the league title, retaining the Dooton Cup, and winning the East Riding.
Yeah.
So the treble that we could achieve that season. So was that the ambition in pre-season? What did you think of the squad at that time? You know, how the squad was set up at the start of that season? Because I remember us having a really awful first 3 games that season, but then it only ever seemed to get better after that.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of the squad. So it was like, was it like Lammy?
Yeah, Lammy was there.
I'm trying to think of the shirt. Yeah, it was. I'm just trying to think. Lee Morris, yes. Was it that season? Mozza.
Yeah.
He was there at the start.
Yeah. So I think that's when Bill started to get the players in.
Oh.
One that grows gone. Is that me?
Yeah, it was you. You're back now. Carry on.
That's it. So he made the signings. I think he was still toying around with it. Jack Muldoon, he was there, wasn't he? Brad still there. This one the season, Tank. Was this Tank and Ant Wilson? And
it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I think Kingy mentioned this. I think when Ant Wilson came in, that was the turning point. I think, which was pretty early on, wasn't it? I think. Was it? It was before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd have to ask the stats on.
November time, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was October time, I think.
So I remember that. So I played up front with Kendo the week before, and I think I scored and we won. And then I came in the next week, and then I was moved to right wing again, and this kid called Ant Wilson came in. I was like, great. I was like a bit upset. I thought I'd done all right, sort of thing. And yeah, just that he changed the season, I think, from being sort of mid to higher in the table to actually, you know what, we can really do something here. And that probably sums Bill up to find a gem like him. I think that's one of Bill's biggest strengths, and I think he found a lot of gems in that sort of early period. Like Kingy, do you know what I mean? I think he got it right, and like I say, he got the best out of myself and other players like me who other teams at the top probably won't entertain, but he just seemed to get it right early on.
Agree.
Yeah. I don't know how good my internet is. Can you hear me or not?
I can hear you.
Just
Yeah. Right. So. We've spoke about that a few times. The Anthony Wilson factor, definitely a big one that season. Obviously you've spoken about you maybe a little bit of a difficult start, difficult atmosphere at Ferriby, but your second season there, obviously we won the treble, as we've said.
Yeah.
So What to be a part of that after you said yourself you didn't think you were good enough to be at a club like Ferriby, and then 2 seasons in you've won promotion, etc. So it must have been a brilliant feeling for you.
Yeah, a bit surreal. Like I say, I felt like I proved myself at that level. So I remember, like I say, the Hensford game and games like that. I'd done all right in. Obviously, marking Durrell was probably one of my worst thoughts of doing in any game because he was a nightmare to mark. But yeah, I just remember the last game. So it was Ashton at home, was it?
Yeah.
I remember Willow walking past, and he said a comment to me, which he said it in jest, but I know what he meant. He basically said, "Well, you won't be here next season, will you?" Basically, we got promoted. So he was basically saying I wasn't good enough, which I probably was like, I think I probably said, "Yeah, you're right, I won't be." Like that's my job. That's my job sort of done. But obviously, obviously I stayed. Obviously, I give it a go.
Do you just lastly on that? Do you obviously you've mentioned the Hensford game? Is there any standouts for you from that season?
This is why, if you prepped me with the questions, I would have gone through the fiction and I would have picked one out. Nightmare. If you can imagine all them seasons, they all go into one. I think I was one of the first ones in for Bill, and I was there after he left. So I've seen about probably 200 different players. So they're all merged. They're all merged into sort of one big team. Was that Stockport? No, that wasn't Stockport, was it? Was it Stockport? That was the season.
No, that was
after,
I think it was the Ens. I think it was the Ensford game, and we probably all remember different things. I do remember you getting slaughtered, Sam, if that was that season.
We all remember.
Yes, it was.
The far stand, walking towards the stand. I remember getting loads of abuse, and I just remember Adam Nicklin's save.
Yeah,
that was it, like absolute go gadget arm just out of nowhere and just tipped it. He was going in that top corner, and he saved it. And I think we knew at that point, we was going to do something.
That's brilliant. That you remember the Ensford fans calling me a wanker, about 300 of them.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Well, I think I remember the C word. I remember the C word in there. So
there will have been.
Yeah.
Where names we call him on a daily basis, Dan. So
to be fair, he probably deserved it as well.
He probably did. He was such a keyboard warrior on that NPL group on Facebook. It was unbelievable. He pissed off everybody he could. And yeah, he probably deserved the abuse he got. But yeah, we just give him it anyway because we know he likes the attention. But anyway, so obviously, how did you sort of adapt to the year after playing in the Conference North? Obviously, such a big step in quality, in grounds as well. Obviously, going to such new places. How was that year for you overall?
If I'm right, I think I scored the first goal.
Do you know you've just nicked me next question?
Can we say that was my research last night? Can I say
he did find
that right?
Research.
Okay. Do you know who scored the last goal that season?
It be against Brackley, wasn't it? Was it you against Brackley?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we had 2 games after against Gazi, but I think we failed to score. Someone told me I scored the first and last goal that season. That's how I remember.
Well, only Ash would have been able to have said that.
So obviously I adapted because the team was better.
Yeah.
The players were recruited. Again, King has mentioned this, but we walked up to pre-season, was training on South Hunsley School. And we had Jamie Yates, Nathan Jarman, Danny Owen, people like that coming over. We knew there was Gainsborough players. We knew there was going to up the level. We had JD coming in on crutches. We just knew, and obviously once I scored and the team were performing as it was, I think the thing with me is I could probably adapt to because any sort of league, and I probably play at the same sort of level, whichever standard you'd see me at, because my game doesn't really change. well, at that time, it wouldn't have changed. It's basically just running.
Yeah. What's the comment, Billy Walker?
Well, when we signed you,
Yeah.
it was on the way back from Northwich, and I'm sure these were his words.
Go on.
We've signed Clarkey, and he'll just run all day. Just something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
That was basically it. And do you know what? I loved it. That was it. I just loved. I just had this thing about if I could get to like the 70th minute, I'd keep going, and I know no one else would. And I have been called Duracell Bunny and things like that. I've been called a lot worse at Halifax, but Duracell Bunny is probably one. By the way, I'm not like that now. I can't run now, so just be aware of that. But yeah, that was it. I just enjoyed that sort of part of the game. I just enjoyed that part of the game. So for me, adapting to that level, it was just the same. Just I can still run. I can still run harder and further than anyone else. So it didn't really make a difference to me, to be fair.
Yeah. So obviously you had your time at Ferriby, and then what came as kind of a shock to us all was that you decided to make the drop down to join Jamie Waltham's Hull United. What was your thought process behind that? What was your influence in going there?
Well, firstly, it wasn't anything to do with Jamie Waltham. So basically, what happened is at the end during the season, I had a bit of a breakdown. So I owned a window company on Hessel Road, and basically it was massive. Like for me, it was like turning over £1 million every year. I was running it sort of with my mum, my now wife, my brother works there. It was like a little family business, but we'd sort of gone beyond what we should be doing, and I was basically working 24 hours a day. Are you still there? Yeah, 24. Yeah, 24 hours a day, apart from the nights I was at football and the Saturdays. So I'd still go work on a Sunday, and it just got to a point where something had to give. I either had to take on more staff and train them all up, and my easiest option was, do you know what? I can just slow down on the football. Priority. I felt like I'd got to the highest level I possibly could. I'd won trophies. I thought, do you know what? I was coming close to my 30s. I thought, do you know what? I could probably give this a rest now. So I just thought I'd retire. That was it. So I just wasn't going to play. It wasn't Jamie Waltham I spoke to. It was Jamie Barnwell. So obviously it was the first person that gave me a chance. And I was playing a 5-a-side tournament at National Ave. He just come over and said, I'm starting this project, Hull United. This is what we're doing. It should be great. Do you fancy it? I was like, yeah. So I went and played there. A lot of people think I got paid. I was like, no, like I was earning enough from my window company. Like I just wanted still a football fix. So I was playing there, and obviously, yeah, Jamie Waltham was chairman. Got on real well with him. He was brilliant, to be fair. Some of his ideas were crazy, but like I said, the buzz around that club when we had that first game, I think Headham Rangers, and he was paying £2 for fans to come in and stuff like that. It was actually a brilliant atmosphere, and it was like 8 weeks of we're going to do this and it actually came to light. It was like it was a really good experience this building that. Being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a Hull United game, and they were more of an event, weren't they? Then
yeah,
games, yeah. They did have that feel to them.
Yeah,
definitely did.
It was good. It was good back then. But yeah, I think the Hull United thing, it just got to a point where I was committing just as many hours to that than I was at Ferriby, and because I can't really do things by half. I'm either 100% or nothing, and yeah, I was giving 100%. So
awesome. Go on, Ash. We'll go back to you.
Did you know I was chairman there?
No.
Now you've said that.
Yeah.
Now you've said that, it rings a bell.
So basically, it was Jamie Waltham trying to bribe me. So he knew there was interest. So he came in and he said, "Would you like to be chairman of the club?" I was like, "Well, don't know." Like, yeah. So I sort of took it without really doing anything. I think the last conversation I had was, well, it depends how much this chairman role means to you. And yeah, I wasn't really doing much. So, but yeah, I was officially named as chairman.
Fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yes, I told you.
Wow.
I'll give you some fun little facts in here.
Awesome. All right, go on, Ash.
So, what brought you back to Ferriby? And just thinking about Hull United, like we talked about the ambitions of the club, why do you think it didn't materialise any further than it did?
Hull United.
Yeah.
I left because I realised I was putting just as much effort and hours into Hull United than I could have been at Ferriby. And obviously, as you could imagine, Bill was on at me every week to go, and I said I can't commit to it. But then I realised I was committing to it. The reason why I think it failed is I honestly don't know. Everything that happened afterwards, there still seemed to be a buzz after. And I remember going on a night game there. Woodhouse was manager with Ashby. I remember Callum and Jordan Harrison playing, Brett Agnew playing, and it was incredible atmosphere. What happened after that, I don't know. I think I think from what I remember, Jamie tried setting the club up in a way where he could be voted out. So he tried to do it as like the People's Club or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And basically, they voted him to get out. To get out the door. I think if that didn't happen and Jamie didn't get certain people involved, I think it could have been something great. And I think Jamie's flaws going forward was probably he was trying to recover what he had there. And I think that's where, I don't really want to say lost control, but I think that's where some of the sort of more outrageous ideas came from, because he was trying to get back what he had. Because I think it hit him hard. That if you can imagine, getting the ball taken away from you, it must be tough on anyone. It must be tough on anyone.
So, my dad used to go down to Hull United quite a lot, and he loved it.
Did he win the car by any chance?
He didn't, unfortunately. But I remember him ringing me to tell me what was going on. I think there was a massive power struggle, wasn't there, at the top of the club? That's probably what it was that caused that to end the way it did.
Yeah. I think John Duffel, he is a good friend of mine, and it was his club originally. And I think Jamie sort of overpowered John, and obviously he was running, I think it was St Andrews. I think that's what the name was before that. He'd been running for a number of years. So I think you had John, whose club it was originally, Jamie trying to implement his ideas, and Jamie's, as you know, Jamie's stubborn. If he wants to do something, he's doing it. And then obviously you've got Curtis and Ashby coming in with their own ideas. So I just think, probably too many cooks. There's probably too many cooks.
Yeah. About right, that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you came back to Ferriby, and we was in the midst of a great FA Trophy run. And when you came back, was there a buzz about how far we could go in that competition?
Don't think so. I think it was just after the Boston game when Kendo scored, so I missed all that. I remember coming in and just trying to think of the team. So I think Tom Corner was there, one playing. I think funny enough, I think I took Ollie Banks's place. No, I didn't. I took Grant Black's place in the team. I think he was playing, and I think he went. I had a few tussles with Grant, to be fair, when he was at Buxton, and he scored a worldie against us as well. I remember. But yeah, I just remember coming in over Ollie Banks. obviously he's gone on to do some great stuff in professional football. But yeah, I think, was it still quite early? Was my first game back in the trophy, or was that league?
I think it was your first game against Gainsborough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was league. That was league game.
Yeah. So I still think it was quite early on, was it? I'm not sure. I came around Boxing Day, New Year, so it must.
I think Farnborough. Was it Farnborough your first game?
Yeah, I played at Farnborough. Yeah. Oh God.
What a day.
What the weekend? Like you say, you've heard about dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the full week. Them trips were just mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there was no sort of real talks of trophy. You just. It's his aim now. Do you know what I mean? With Alfreton, he'll go into the season thinking we can win the league. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
He wants to win everything, but yeah, there was no real talks of winning the trophy or anything like that.
Yeah. Go on, Treppo.
Well, when did you think then that Wembley was a possibility? Eventually, we asked Kingy the same question. So
yeah, I think after the Farnborough game, because we started off so slow, we had too much scrambled egg on toast, too many beans. We just literally we ate like kings. It was ridiculous how much food we had. Nice hotel. It was just in that Farnborough game, just Adam Nicklin, just like there's not really much more to say. Just Adam Nicklin saved us massively in that game. It was just incredible. He just saved everything.
How many games over the course of your career and obviously Adam's career can we actually say that Adam was so integral part of that team?
And this is the thing. So when I was referring to like things happening at the back of the bus, it was on Adam. So people were doing stuff to Adam, and I had to stand up for him because there's no way to stand up for himself.
Yeah.
The talent he had. The problem was they was all mates with Willow, and Willow was class. But I think Willow had already decided that he was coming to the end of his career, and he was going to be leaving at the end of the season to finish. And yeah, just the things Adam's gone on to do for that club and the games, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. It's just he's a legend, but he's had nothing to do with football since he coaches. He's just a quiet kid. He gets on with himself. The nicest kid ever you could ever meet. He's always smiling. But yeah, like you say, it was just like Peter Schmeichel back in the heyday. It was just literally a rock. He just saved everything.
It was amazing. I think we always said, that we thought he could have played a lot higher, to be honest. Some of the performances he had for Ferriby were just like unreal. So, you mentioned the Hensford save, but it's funny that Farnborough one, because we always thought that was just like quite a routine win. But then the players we've had on have all said it was crap, and we had to Nicholas kept us in it.
We felt we fucked it up. We were so used to steamrolling teams. We were so used to we was just turning up and basically just beating anything in front of us. It was so tough, and we were just under so much pressure. Did we score first?
Yeah, we won.
Yeah,
we won 2-0.
Yes. Oh, yeah, they didn't score, did they? But it was, just I don't know whether it was just the emotions, and maybe we knew we was at the start of something special. But I might have got it wrong. I maybe need to watch it back. But I just remember Adam saving everything and blocks on the line, and I just remember it just like it could have so easily gone the other way. And I think they had quite a good home record as well. And it was, I think we'd done well. I think we'd done well to obviously get the win there.
Yeah, I think Farnborough were one of them teams where they were sort of in a bigger stadium than what they were capable of. Like, we was all there, and there's pictures of us all in the stand and stuff, and all the players coming over at full time. And I just think the stadium didn't match what was on the pitch.
No. I think I remember Nath Pete saying they had one. I don't know if it was midfielder or forward, and basically said, just watch him. All he does is hit targets, and every time he shot, he hit the target, and he was just class. And I think he was the one we had to watch out for. But yeah,
his name was Louis Theophanis or something like that. He ended up playing in the National League for a few years. Yeah, he was their best player by a mile.
Yeah. Because I don't remember any player's name.
Walker, how do you remember that?
Yeah, but that's ridiculous.
But it's a name like Louis Theophanius or something like that. You're going to remember that, aren't you?
No.
Well, no, you're not. That's the thing.
No.
I hardly remember anyone who I play against. You know what I mean? Like, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. But yeah, I remember the last sort of 10 minutes was quite tough. It started to get dark. It was cold, I think. And we were just under so much pressure, just a relief after the game. And I think that, like you say, that was probably the game when we was close now.
Yeah.
We'd won an away trip far away. I don't even know where Farnborough is. I'm guessing down south somewhere.
Yeah, it's near Aldershot. It's down south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite far down.
Yeah.
But go on, Chip.
Other than probably the obvious one, the Wembley game, but you were involved, I think I'm right, in obviously Farnborough, Ebbsfleet, and the two games against Bath.
Yeah.
So, what was your favourite game out of those? Because obviously, if we say what was your favourite game of the trophy, probably it's going to be the final. But other than the final,
none of the Bath game. I was horrendous at them. I had a nightmare in both of them. I literally, like, have you got the Wembley DVD where it's got the Bath DVD in it as well?
Yeah.
Never watched that. Never watched it. I don't want to see myself how bad I was. Well, from what I remember, I might watch it back and go, I'd done by to myself there. But yeah. The emotions in the first game, but I just remember backs to the wall, Adam Nicklin couldn't kick it, and I think I had a bit of a meltdown in that first game at Bath towards the end. I couldn't kick it anywhere. Just emotions. I think we knew we were so close, and we were so close the season before, weren't we? We were so close the season before, and it was just we're like, we can't fuck it up now. And I just one of them games. So probably the Farnborough game. I remember second half. I remember Adam Boulder coming to me and saying, you were class second half, like you run in and everything. You helped us out so much. So probably that Farnborough game.
Yeah.
Because the Bath one.
So we won't talk about the actual Bath games, but we'll talk about after the second leg. How sort of relieved were you, and what sort of were your emotions that you were a player playing for like a small village team was going to go and walk out of Wembley?
Well, two things. So I was on the bench when the penalty shootout was because Billy will never let me take a penalty. I've took two for him in the past. One against Ferriby, actually. Ash might remember this, for Frickley, and we lost in the penalty shootout, and it was me. Both times I've missed, we've lost. It's that penalty that I've lost the penalty shootout. They'll never let me take one again. Do you remember that?
I don't know. I think it was before our time, that Clarkey.
Was it? It was
just before, yeah.
Yeah, I think keeper was, might have been called Ben White. Ben White? No, I don't know.
It doesn't ring a bell.
I remember him saving it.
Was it Ben Hallam by any chance?
It might have been, yeah. It was a. I don't know if it was like a Evo Stick Cup. Was there an Evo Stick Cup?
Yeah, the dudes.
Yeah, it was the dudes.
Yeah. So it was in that. Quickly, we went away to Ferriby, and he saved my penalty, and that was it. Game over. So I took two from him. He said, "You'll never take one from me again." So another fact for you. I was after Adam Nicklin, who only had one leg in the penalty shootout. That's how bad my penalties are.
Is this at Wembley then? So would you have been number 11 if it had got that far?
If I could have got away with pretending I was too injured to take one, then yes, I would have been 11. So for the Bath game, so I got brought off right before extra time, so I was on the bench. He brought someone on for me, to take a penalty, probably some sub-keeper. He'd rather have than me. But yeah, so I just remember sat on the bench, shaking, nervous. I think I was crying, being honest. It was like just emotions, like we're literally one penalty away either way from either going to Wembley or not.
Yeah,
that was it. It was like just pure emotion, pure emotions, just like nervous, probably. Yeah.
That leads us nicely on to the next question. We'll talk a bit about the game at Wembley. We won't go into massive details, but obviously it was you that won the penalty that got us back into the game. What sort of can you remember about that moment? And I think a question for us, lads, that we especially discussed last night when we were sorting this out was, do you think the keeper should have been sent off? Because obviously we do, and it'd be interesting to know your thoughts.
No, firstly, I remember thinking, if I can get to the ball, he's going to have to take me out. And I knocked the ball towards the corner flag rather than going towards goal. So I don't think you could probably class it as a goal scoring opportunity, because I don't think I would have gone round him.
Yeah,
that was my sort of opinion on it. But yeah, to win that penalty, just remember the first half. I remember their left back going, Ash, what's his name? Older guy, not Young, is it?
Oh, I know you mean Ashton.
Yes, Ashton.
Neil Ashton.
Yeah. So he was giving me the runaround. Couldn't handle him. His movement was too sharp for me. Bit of a blur. And I just remember we hardly got in their half. We hardly got in their half, and I just remember second half thinking, the game's passing me by. Like we've made all this effort to get here, and the game's passed us by. We're losing. It's 2-0. Like someone's got to step up, and I just remember I'm going to have this, and that's not brag or anything. It's just sort of there's something in me that I can change to just like sort of go through a wall. And I just remember just sort of upping it and just thought, do you know what? If I'm going to run, I'm just going to run, just keep running. And that was the only reason I got to that penalty. I think if it was drawing, I probably don't make that run.
Right.
Being honest, so that's how I sort of describe that moment.
Awesome. And then obviously towards the end, really different emotions. You could have won the game, and obviously, what do you remember about that chance? And did you think it had gone in originally?
So when I hit it, until I watched it back, I thought I was at the halfway line, but I think I was just outside the area.
Yeah.
But the pitch was that big. I think the keeper makes a bit of a meal of it. Yeah, I've hit it with my left foot, and I bent it, and I was sort of inside of my foot, and it's curling in the top corner. I remember watching it. It seemed to take about 8 minutes for it to get there, and I'm thinking it's going in. And the keeper he does pulls one for the cameras, and he just pulls it out of the top corner last minute when he probably could have caught it. But yeah, that was right at the end of extra time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just before the penalties.
If I literally would have retired right there. If that went in the top corner, that would have been it. That would have been it for me.
Fantastic.
I wouldn't have blamed you.
Like Nicklin did. Nicklin made that save, didn't he? And that was it.
Just stopped.
Yeah, that would have been me. That would have been Nicklin would still be playing now for Bill, and I'd be retired. So that's the way it would have
been. So how did it feel then winning at Wembley for a village club that you hold so close to your heart? How did it feel when when you saw Adam save that final penalty? What was the emotions going through?
So I in any of those pictures, you know when they're running towards Adam, and there's about it's all of them. There must be 9 of them. 10. Yeah, so there must be 9 of them. run into it. I'm not in there because everyone runs forward and I stand still and put my finger in the air. And all I remember, it was just relief from the top of my body, just releasing. That's all I remember. There was no sort of excitement. It was just pure relief. All, as you can imagine, we'd had a full 8 weeks, maybe 8 weeks since we knew we was playing there.
A long time.
Yeah, I had moments where I could have been sent off in game in the team through suspension. So we had on, he just got released in that one. So yeah, man was relieved. So that's why you don't see me, because everyone runs forward and I stand still.
Yeah.
So that was my emotion. Yeah.
Fantastic. We're just going to move it on to the season after now. And sorry, what was the feeling around the squad? You know, before the next season, then was there a big sense? Was there a sense that within the camp was going to get promoted or at least push for it?
Yeah, I think we knew we had the team. We had Dents, we had Nicklin, we had Adam Boulder, we had some top class players. I think we knew we had the team to do it, and we proved that the season before. And obviously, Bill he just wants to win the league. So yeah, I think we knew quite early on we had the squad to do it. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
For the future.
Well, we'll.
If his internet can carry on.
Specific. What, has it gone?
No,
Well,
You're back now, right? Back.
you're kind of back, yeah. Go on, carry on.
Because my internet's awful. Just you carry on, mate.
Right, I'll ask you a question for you. So obviously that season, Clarkey, going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Having lost in the playoffs a couple of years before, how sort of stressful was that for you? What sort of anxiety were you feeling? And I suppose that anxiety increased after the dreadful performance at Boston in the first leg.
Was it dreadful?
So these two, sir.
I don't remember it. I just remember him score. I just remember him scoring from that throw in. And I just remember that's it. We're done. Like, game over. Like, we'll have to have a go next season. That's all I remember from that game. I don't remember anything else.
Did the squad still have belief after that, though?
In the changing room, no. In the changing room, no. Definitely not. I think the belief only came in that second leg when we scored early. I think that's the. Do you know what I mean? As much as Bill tried building it up and saying we had a chance and all this, yeah, I don't. That change, it'd gone. It just to happen so late and in front of that crowd and that atmosphere against obviously what we can call now our arch rivals at the time.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Probably one of my worst feelings in football that game. Just pure, just gutted. Like there's not. I just remember like Josh Wiles head down and people like that who just like, do you know what I mean? They just give everything. It was just like that's it. Like a full season gone just with that one goal.
Yeah. So obviously
it was like sorry. So I was going to interrupt you. I don't think many teams had won there that night. I think that place was rammed, wasn't it? It was like going into the Lions Den, that place. Yeah. I think that was one of the most hostile atmospheres I've ever been in.
Yeah. It's just you just don't want to concede, do you? That's the only and to concede that late and that you can just imagine the buzz, you know what I mean, what they must have had at that time when that went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that stand behind the goal, it was bouncing, it was
you
could see it. It was
But like you say, in hindsight, I think as much as we thought that was it was done, I think they thought they'd done it.
Yeah.
We'd done it, and that's where that battle, that second leg, that's when it's some squeaky bum time for him.
So for that second leg, like how did Bill's team talk kind of change within the dressing room?
It was all about Dennis Green sat in the dugout with his cap
And his bloody pink, his pink sweatshirt.
Snogging his girlfriend in the dugout. Well, I think it was his girlfriend.
You'd like to think it was.
But it was basically, it was walking around the place as if to say, we're here just to put on a show. We're already through. Do you know what I mean? And that was it. Like, and I think that was it. Like these fuckers think they've won it. You know what I mean? I think that was
their fans were the same. Their whole fan base was the same that day. Yeah. They came like for a party, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, that was the team talk really. The thing with Bill is all he asks is 100%, and wherever that gets you, that's where it gets you. It never asks for some kind of intricate kind of play, or yes, he has tactics, but it's all just down to just giving everything. And I think we did that day. Like a lot of games. I think we just had better players, and I think we could turn up at 80% and just turn over teams. I remember saying to Bill that season, we had such a quiet changing room, and the warm-ups were so quiet, but for some reason, as soon as we started playing, it was just easy.
Yeah.
It was just easy. We didn't need any sort of motivation. I think we just had better players at that time. Just like, if you look at, like you say, Tom Denton, Ash Palmer, players like that, we had a lot of players who, as you can see now, they've gone on to a lot higher standards and better things. So you can see the type of squad we had. So yeah, it was a really good season there.
And obviously, how did it feel for you to score the winner in that game? It must have been a nice feeling.
Yeah. So again, I think I was I don't know if I was playing right wing, and I ended up on sort of left side. I just remember Bobby always telling me to make this run, and I somehow ended up on the wrong side, and I just hit it with my left foot, I think, and it's just hit the bottom corner. And I just remember all these inflatables and stuff on the and all their fans were there, weren't they? And always going up to their fans, giving it some.
Oh, the Malt Shovel boys, probably. You know what they're like.
Yeah, but it was incredible to get that goal. Was it meant a lot. It meant a lot. Definitely.
Go back to you, Walker.
So we ended up winning the final, and then we had a bit of an uncertain summer with players deciding to leave and some decided to stay. You were one of the ones who stayed, and you were made captain. How did that feel? You know, that decision by the club to make you club captain. And what made you stay rather than follow?
So what made me stay was the level. I said to Bill, I'm sorry, but I've just given a full season in trying to get into the National League. A lot of players that we had in the team had already done it, and I was like, I'm sorry, but where I've come from, this is just, I need to do it for myself. And as much as he asked me, and I still had my window business at the time and stuff like that, and I knew Halifax would be too much travel and things like that. But yeah, it was just a level to play. I know it sounds a bit egotistical, but to play with your name on the back is something which I think every kid dreams of.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's just something I wanted to do and play at the level. The captaincy was great. Really. I was quite fortunate how he liked me as a player. I remember him saying when I came back to Ferriby, it hadn't been announced that I'd signed again because I don't think it was a transfer because I could dual registration. So he basically just signed me on. And he said he saw my name on the team sheet and went, shit. That's what he told me sort of whilst I was playing for him. So I was fortunate House liked me as a player and he knew what I was about. So to be offered that was amazing, really. Yeah. It to not only play for your team but captain your team in the National League when you live 10 miles down the road as a kid for a team where you thought you'd never be good enough which was 2 leagues below that, and being told by other players that you're not good enough, it was just something I needed to do for myself. I think just something to say, I've made it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'd ever be at the level to play professional, but for me that was sort of just as good for me.
Yeah, fantastic.
So you just mentioned there. So what was it like working under Steve Howsham, and how was it different compared to Billy? You've been with Billy for so long.
Yeah. So
how different was that?
It's the details. So with Bill, so the first thing I noticed was pre-season. So not all Housham's fault, but basically we must have had 50 trialists. We literally didn't have a squad, did we? So we had
those first pre-season games were interesting. Let's put it that way.
So the thing, what you realise about Bill, he's got loads of little details. Players will know this. I don't know if this has ever got out to the fans, but like if you turn up for training, you have to wear black socks. You can't wear these white socks and like trainers. Basically, you've got to wear black socks. And it's just something with Bill where it's about standards and uniform. And we turned up to Ferriby. So that's what I've been used to for 10 years. Black socks, no hats. So you can't wear hats in winter. Players can't wear hats. Players can't wear gloves for games. So you won't see players wearing gloves. It's just Bill's got certain standards and he expects his team to work by these standards. And so the first pre-season with House, after seeing what I'd seen with Bill for 10 years, players were just turning up in all different kit, obviously all different socks, and it just soon straight away you could see not the seriousness, but the, I can't think of how to describe it, but the professionalism, probably the professionalism of the way the season was going to go was highlighted in the pre-season. Not saying it came down to, obviously the budget was, from what I've heard, was ridiculous and he was never going to be able to do something, and when he was going to do something he was told not to do something. It was never on to a winner really. But House was a bloke. It was all about the fans. It was all about the lads, to defend the lads to high heavens.
Yeah.
His team, I don't think he could ever give a team talk without taking the piss out. It was great. He tried to add humour, but it was just obviously different. Him and Bill are just different managers, just the way they go about things.
Yeah.
So it was just a strange environment. But obviously, I took on the role as captain, so I had to try and just be as professional as I could and do what he wanted me to do, basically.
Yeah. And then obviously the allure of Bill managed to get you again, and you did end up going to Halifax. So what made you eventually leave? Was it just Bill as a whole, or was it sort of like the aura of the club? Or
I was told to go.
Right.
So basically Bill had asked me all season and I said no. I said, Bill, the only way I'm going to end up going is if Halifax bought me. I said, because then I wouldn't have anything saying it. And I said it tongue in cheek. And the next thing I know, Bill's rang me and said, the forms will be ready. We're sorting out a fee with Ferriby. Ferriby are happy for you to go. So I rang. Who did I ring? I rang Ausch. I told him. I said, but I don't want to go. And then I spoke to Steve Forster, and he said, look, we need this money. Like, there's nowhere to. Thank you for everything, but you're gonna have to go. We can't turn it down. So that was simply the reason I went, because I didn't really have a say in it.
Right.
So, but like I say, it's for someone to pay money for me is absolutely ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? I was like, well, I can spin it another way and go. Do you know what I mean? That's like the only time I think anyone's ever bought me is my brother on Football Manager. That's probably about it. And I'm playing Chelsea in the reserves, and he's trying to get me the first team, but the fans are booing him. That's probably the only time someone's ever bought me. So that's why I left. But I was as much as the season wasn't going obviously brilliant. We had some good moments, didn't we? Like Clarkey, Geisley, and every week was a challenge. I just love a challenge. Do you know what I mean? It's whatever it is, whether you're at the top or the bottom. I just love being in a fighting for something. So every week it was a fight. So I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
that Clarkey game at home when you scored the winner right at the start of the season. I think that was probably for me one of the highest moments of that season. I think it was probably the moment of the season you felt the most pride.
Yeah, definitely
out of the game. I think that's what I felt personally about that game.
It's always. I'll tell you what, at Ferriby, the summer games on a night are the best. I think.
Mate, night games are just.
It's honestly. It's brilliant down there. It's absolutely brilliant down there. And like I say, that guy's the game on a night. That was some. It went in off Cyrus Russell's shin, didn't it? So against the shin, it span. It was going towards the corner flag. It just span in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that really well. But obviously, so when you went to Halifax, was Bill just the same man that he was even all those days ago at Frickley Hall Road and even going into Ferriby?
Same man, better players. I think that's it. 1 second, I just need to charge. Turn my charger on. There we go. Drain my battery. Same manager, just better players.
Yeah.
Like, he had a budget where he could get any player he wanted, whereas, like you say, at Ferriby, man for man, well, most of them were man for man, but if he needed someone, he could go get them at Halifax. Whereas at Ferriby, he had to find that gem, which he was very successful at. But that was the difference. If he needed to fill a hole, he could just go get who he wants.
Yeah.
So.
But obviously, for you, from a personal level, it must have been the step up you must have felt from playing at Ferriby. I mean, let's all admit, we love Ferriby to bits. We wouldn't change anything about the place. But you change that for the share. Yeah. And the difference is just unbelievable.
I underestimated it, I think, going into it. I thought it'd just be the same as how it's always been with Bill, but I massively underestimated. So for me, I was going from the league above.
Yeah.
When all season, oh my god, it was 10 times harder because the players were just better. Do you know what I mean? The players at training were better, and I just couldn't get up to speed. Just couldn't get up to speed with them. And then playing in games, it was. What you got to remember is that their fans just didn't like us because we basically signed from Ferriby.
Yeah,
that was it. So we was under pressure from the start, and to be fair, I didn't adapt to it as quick as I should have, really.
Yeah, I think Bill was under fire really quickly, wasn't he? Because they all wanted their old manager to stay. Walker will be able to tell you his name.
Jim Harvey.
Yeah, there you go. They all wanted him to stay, and obviously when Bill came in, he was kind of this sort of manager from a foreign land, really. Who's this? What's he doing at our club? We want the old regime back, and obviously that resonated down with some of the players as well. We had Kingy say that the pressure that was put on the players and on Bill was just something that none of them had experienced before at Ferriby.
No, it was tough. I think most players that season will refer to a game at Stalybridge, and basically we were poor. And the shit we was getting from the fans was horrendous. But yeah, like I say, it's the chairman wanted someone to get him up, get Billy Heath. You know what I mean? That was it, and he did it in the end. He did it.
Yeah.
Did it? But yeah, the fans just couldn't accept it. I don't think. And like you say, when they're seeing someone like me come in who was massively low on confidence and just not performing, they've obviously got a right to say what they want then. But like you say, it was a tough period for a lot of players. I think only Josh Wild adapted fully. Kingy ended up hating it. Honey left quite early. Dense, yeah, Dense is just dense.
Yeah, he's unreal.
But even he got shit just because he didn't fit into, because he wasn't Jamie Vardy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could say he's doing it now, and I think they'd love to have him back now, realising what he could actually do.
Definitely. Go on then, Walker. Finishes off.
Yeah, so he moved with Billy to Alfreton, and he's still there now. And just a quick question about the current season. What's it been like throughout the lockdown? You know, playing without any fans there. How have you found that?
All right, I think you miss the away games when you've got the fans there. The home games, I think the thing with the home games is Alfreton is a lot like Ferriby. So when you walk around there, you get to know the faces and you get to know the people, and on first name basis. So yeah, it's just. I think we're just happy to be playing, to be fair. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it was tough, because at the end of the day, you forget everything what's going around you when you're playing. It's just you versus the opposite man. But yeah, it was just strange all pre-season, and it's just strange. We was doing really well at the start, and then we all caught COVID. It was massive spread around. Basically, nearly everyone in the changing room caught it, and once we came back, it was just gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just didn't recover. I'm not saying fitness-wise or anything like that, but we just lost our momentum, and then we got in a downward spiral. So, but yeah, there's games when we could have done with the fans at home, and then there's times when we've benefited away from home when probably when there's fans there we could have lost out. So I'm not going to blame no fans for the poor season we was having, but like you say, it's just strange time to play football.
Yeah,
I've played many a game without fans. Don't worry about that, Jesus.
So what does the future hold then in football? You got any future plans?
Don't know.
Don't know.
No, so I'm a fair load footballer. I'll be 36 by the time next season starts. I've tried retiring 3 times. It hasn't happened. I don't know. I've always said I'd love to play. I think the problem will come down to is if Bill would allow that. That's probably where it is, because it's going to get to a point where my body's just going to go, right, you're never playing football again, because I've just ran myself into the ground far too much. So yeah, I don't know. So currently fair load. I don't know. I might finish this season. I might just, I don't know. If I'm allowed to go play whatever step 7, is it? Step 7, with the ones that I continue in, and I can go play the end of the season, then I might go do that, but I don't know yet. I honestly don't know.
You cut out a bit, Dan, before that. What was you saying before that? You was
if I can go play like Umber Premier towards the end of the season, just to keep myself ticking over. I don't know if I'm allowed because I'm fair load, but I know you can work when you're fair load, but I don't know what your contract says. But yeah, if I can play some games this season, then I might. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because my body after a game just goes, right, you're not doing anything for a week. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. We've got some nice players down at Ferriby. If you ever fancied coming back,
yeah, obviously Easty. I told him when he was on about it. I said, yeah, it's a great club. He's always loved it down there. Anyway, I know he followed him, and he played in that Gaza game, didn't he? Actually, I didn't.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. He played. Mm. He said we went into a 50-50 and I absolutely smashed him. Which I don't remember, but yeah, you're probably right. So yeah, it's no, obviously I get on with Bolds. I work with Easty and Bolds at White College. But yeah, if there's an opportunity to go play there, then yeah, I don't know, no second thoughts in that. But I just honestly don't know what I'm allowed to do. I've set my heart on starting again in July if I start again, but I don't know whether it's coaching or I do a lot with the kids now. That's the thing. I do a lot of coaching with the kids, and it's something I really want to do. It's something I really enjoy. And And I don't know whether just go, do you know what? Just focus on that now while I can still walk. So I'm going to be coaching kids on a walking stick or something. I don't know, but yeah. So undecided. Like I say, it's tough to just be playing and then stop. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this season. I've got through it. So we'll have to see.
Awesome.
We'll have to see.
Awesome. So I think that brings us, after the worst internet connection in the world for quite a few of us around this computer screen, to the end of this interview. Clarkey, thank you very much from all of us for coming on and taking your time out to talk to us. We've all found it very insightful, and we hope all the listeners have as well.
Yeah.
So make sure you take care of yourself. We'd love to see you down at Ferriby. You're always welcome.
Yeah.
Is Sam there enough to close the show? Or?
Yeah, can you hear me, lads?
Yeah.
Here he is. Here he is.
Yeah, well.
Right. Yeah. So I'll finish us off. Sam, stay quiet. Stay quiet. Best way. Clarkey, yeah. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. Keep yourself well. Keep yourself safe. Try and keep yourself busy as well while you're not playing.
I know. Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, Clarkey, thank you so much.
Hey, keep up the great work. I watch everyone. They're brilliant. Great to watch. Great to see what's going on at Ferriby and all the memories you talk about. So yeah, keep it going, lads. Love it.
Love it, mate. Thank
you very much. Cheers.
Nice one.
Thank you, Clarkey. Cheers. Thanks to everyone for watching.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
And yeah.
This is pressure now, Salt. You better close the show.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine, mate. I was born to do this.
Sam, he's been asking for this job.
He's waited 25 episodes for this.
He came round to your house tonight, cut your internet card, and said, I'm in the job.
I did.
This is him.
So all that is left for me to say is a sort of thank you to Sam and his poor internet quality in Brough, and Walker for eventually rejoining.
I don't know what that was.
The internet in Clarke is fine. Yeah, the internet in Clarke has no.
I've got my phone, my tablet, and my laptop all went off.
Fantastic.
The panic.
Yeah, a panic for you. It was a panic for us as well, but we got through it in the end. So yeah, thank you to everyone for watching. Obviously to Clarkey again. A massive thank you to him. Absolute legend. Got some amazing stories in there.
I've got his goal, by the way, again for Appleby Frodringham. Do you know who it was against?
Go on.
I've just lost it now. Hang on. It was against Gedling Town. They lost 3-2 after extra time. Clarkey scored the first goal after 19 minutes.
Well, we will save that and put it up after we.
Guess the attendance when he was on about not playing in front of people. I'm
right. Okay.
44.
Okay, so yeah, we get what he's saying, but yeah, just to close up, thank you again to you too. As always, it's nice to be on this side doing this.
He loves it. You can see the smile. Do not worry, listeners.
If you can hear me, don't get used to it.
Yeah,
we'll put him back in his box.
He'll be back next week. But yeah, from us, thank you all for watching. As always, we're loving doing these, and we're going to carry them on for as much as possible. Sam's